This is the Levels Network. I'm Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG, Willie Mason, and the bro, Lukey Stowe. Mace, we're going to do this. It's a quick inversion of Origin review. It's a little bit different for us. We actually attended the game. You had functions ongoing, and you've got an after party to get to too. So
I had a before party and an after party. So it's like,
So now it's an Origin party. So for everyone who is watching right now, we have broken up Mace's night, so to do this. So what we're going to do is...
That's how much we love the fans, right?
That's it. We want to be consistent. We want to, get you our thoughts straight away from the game. We'll start off with the Billy Slater and the Aaron Woods war of words throughout the week. I'll ask you a few questions off that. We will break down the game. I want to go through all the players. We'll go through position groups again, we did in game 2. And then I'll let you cruise. And then I'm just going to go through the rounds because we don't know how the rounds are going to end up anyway. So let's kick it off, mate. Obviously, the biggest story throughout the week, and it was probably the biggest build-up I feel like we've had to Origin in a long time. It started with Woodsy calling Billy Slater a grub. I'll sort of work my way back. So Billy Slater issued a public apology this morning on the eve of Origin. In reference to talking about the passing of Paul Green. Woods originally called the Maroons coach a grub last week before Slater hit back at a pre-game press conference ahead of the game 2 in Perth. You don't know what people are going through, Slater said in response to Woods' comments. And although I might be able to handle it, the next person might not be. Maybe our last coach didn't. I wonder whether... and then there's people talking about, I wonder whether the word grub will be used again, given the context of sort of what's happened. So a lot to unpack there. I think, it's really sensitive because, what was brought up and credit to Billy apologising today when obviously it's such a huge day for him as well. And I had seen that Paul Green's family, on behalf of their brother, actually responded and said, look, we accept the apology. We don't like that his name was brought up during this period, but accepted it. And again, like I said, it's one of those weird, sort of ugly ones.
It was such a weird thing to say from Billy, right? Like with Woodsy, Woodsy's out of line, right? Calling Billy a grub. Like I played against Billy like my whole career. He was he towed the line a little bit, right?
Is it fair to say that he had grubby tendencies?
Yeah, but he played between the rules, right?
Yeah.
He'd give you a slow elbow, you know what I mean? Like he'd kick you, all that sort of stuff. But who wasn't a grub in that era?
All the best ones are.
Who wasn't a grub?
All the best ones were.
Who was not a grub in that era, right? Billy was one of the best fullbacks, and he was undersized and everything like that, and he would get his own in, right? And to call him a grub is... out of line. Like Woodsy, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. Trying to get some clickbait? Is he trying to, sort of bag?
He even said it. He was trying to get it sparked. He even come out and said that on 360. He was trying to get it going. I don't have a huge issue with the word.
I don't give a fuck either.
Some people take it differently. I will say, from everything that you said there too, I played against Billy during that period of 2010 to 15, and we had a huge rivalry at Manly, and he always pushed the line. He always pushed the limits, and even going back to my time at Parramatta, he used to have run-ins constantly with Hainsey all the time.
See, little things like he used to do, just say if you kick Chase and you tackled him, he would slip his hips out and then elbow you straight in the head.
Hip escape,
and then bang. So no one really understands that. Right? He used to jump up, lead with his leg.
I'm fine with that one.
I don't give a fuck.
That's protection for him because he's in the air. I never had an issue with that.
That's why I didn't kick Chase against Melbourne. That's the only reason. But he just played between the rules, right? He was a goer. You couldn't fuck with him. If you try to fight him, he can fight too. He can he did everything, but
he got every little inch out of the talent that he had.
Exactly,
right?
mate.
Yeah, and so and that's the difference between I reckon him and Cooper, where they earned everything that they got.
100%. So when Billy hit the scene, I remember when Billy hit the scene, I was like, he's a winger. Everyone sort of tested him. He was little. He was a little jockey. All that sort of shit. And we used to try and fuck him up. Right? And
you said you gave him a hard time.
We gave him a fucking really hard time. And then he didn't remember that try he scored against us in 2004.
The
chip and chase little chip and chase when he was offside. And then like game 3, we went after him so bad, right?
I might take this off because it's hot. Keep going though. Yep.
We went after him so bad, he didn't play another rep game till 2008.
Yeah.
Right? So he went back to the lab, right? That's what I love about him. And worked on his game, his toughness, and like his little kicking game, passing game, all these little things that he had to work on, right? Toughness. And he come back, and then from 2008 to when he retired, no one was fucking with Billy. Yep. He was at another level. He separated himself from the Minicellos, the Brett Stewarts, and all these sort of guys that were sort of the Carmichael Hunts that were sort of hunting after him. They were around about sort of his, that era.
Yep.
And then he just went like that, and no one touched him. So him saying that yesterday about Paul Green, I think, like I watched him. It was so emotional for him.
He was rattled.
He was one word away from crying.
Yep. Agreed.
And I understand that. And he just sort of kept talking. And if he had his time over again,
for sure,
he wouldn't have went down that avenue.
For sure.
Because it brings up so much bad, you just don't want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're bringing up the family again. The family's got to relive it. It's all over the paper, everything like that. And I was just like, I listened. I was like, why did you say that? I didn't understand. Like, I mean, I understand. I would have just fucking smashed Woodsy.
Yeah, fired back at Woodsy.
I would have hammered Woodsy's career and whatever the fuck he wanted to do.
Playing reserve grade at the back end, all that club.
I would have went at him so hard if I was Billy Slater. And I think Woodsy underestimated the amount of people that love Billy Slater and the amount of people that respect him. One thing I know in this game is you do not bag legends.
Yes.
If you're not a legend, you do not fucking bag legends.
And I've heard a few people that we're familiar with say the same thing. And this is where I think Billy's been rattled now in the last couple of years. Probably didn't expect it from Madge because Madge was his assistant coach. Even just the Glasshouses call from last year. And he definitely doesn't expect it or wouldn't anticipate it coming from a guy like Woodsy. Woodsy's a way better player than I ever was, but in terms of where Billy probably views Woodsy, and he would have played with him at Australia at one point, wouldn't he? So I think that's what caught him off guard. And then you could see Gordy was fuming throughout the week, and it all sort of, Woodsy was having so much fun with it that it felt like it made it even worse.
I think Woodsy, at his core, didn't really give a fuck, right?
He still doesn't.
He doesn't care. He was saying it just because, he's a grub. That's how Woodsy talks. I love Woodsy. He's a good dude. If I didn't like Woodsy, I would be tearing shreds off him.
Yeah.
Fucking massively, right? But I don't mind Woodsy as a human, right? And he's a good guy and everything like that. He's never done wrong by me.
Yep.
But I saw what he was doing and he's like, yeah, he's a grub. Fuck him. He's a grub when he played and this and that. He did this. I'm like, yeah, I saw it. I played against it. I get it. But I'm like, I would never call him, he's a fucking grub.
Yeah.
I don't think grub's a fucking harsh word anyway.
No.
Most players are grubs.
We love the grub. We love Josh Reynolds.
That's
his nickname.
Josh Reynolds' nickname is the grub.
Yeah.
Just be a grub. It's like, is it elbow on the fucking head, this and that? Who cares?
Back page up in Queensland.
Yeah, back page. Yeah, that's been brought up a lot. Yeah, look, whether you can say now, and I hope surely we're not living in a world with PC world where fucking grub's going to get ruled out from now on. But in saying that,
will
you get cancelled for calling someone a grub. But in saying that, for sure, I know where he was going with it. We all played against Billy. He's got he had the grubby tendencies as a player. He had grubby actions at times. And Woodsy, I think, was more talking about not him as a person, where maybe Billy, sort of took it that way.
Just what he did on the field.
Yeah.
The kicking in the face when he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did shit like that.
That was grubby. That was proper grubby, shit. When he used to slide in.
And then just say the grand final or a semi-final, come in, shoulder charge, and he was a hardcore dude.
Yeah. So I don't mind the shoulder barge.
Do not fuck with Billy.
Yeah. He'll do anything to stop a try.
He will go mad.
Yeah.
And I don't call that grubby. I call that competitive.
Yeah.
And he'll do little things because when we used to play him, we'd try and hurt him, right? And he
big
would
time.
go, you know that. You played against him, that. You fucking want to pick him, head slam him, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I didn't have it in me, but I know people used to do it to him.
Oh, man, we tried to fucking pick on him massively when he first come through the grades.
Yeah.
And you couldn't. Then you could at the start of his career.
Yeah.
But when he was Billy Slater,
Yeah.
you couldn't fuck with him.
See, that's the thing now too. I think Billy's got to that point in his career where he's like, all right, he had such a decorated career on the field, won grand finals, removed, media darling, everyone loves him on 9, goes through this really like good period with Queensland. He wins a couple of series, like Queenslander. Yeah, everyone thought New South Wales were going to win, and then he takes over. And then there's just criticism the last couple of years.
He's never had that.
Yeah, I don't think he's had it as a coach.
No, he's never had it as a player.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, not much as a player. Like, he was always like a gun, right? You know what I mean? Like a little, maybe a little bit of like controversy here and there, but not as a human, not as a player, not testing not questioning his integrity.
Do you reckon Cam used to cop more of it than anyone because he was like...
Cam was and he could handle it.
Yeah, he was the instigator. He was the one that was like deemed the second referee.
Yeah.
So if anyone was shitty at the Storm, they were normally shitty at Cameron Smith because he was so good.
I was with Cam Smith the other night and just like bagging the fuck out of him. Yeah. Like, I love him because like we played a lot of tests together, and he's just you'd look at him and you go, how did you play fucking 700 games? You know what I mean? So humble, so everything, you know what I mean? But that whole era, people don't like when Melbourne were Melbourne, right? They changed the game with the wrestling, the dirty sort of shit, you know what I mean? Like, everyone sort of hated that, and Billy was part of that, Cam was part of that, Coops, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it's tall poppy syndrome. But, you know, he's copping it now.
All right, my last little bit on it, and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
They've gone out and got a result now. Do you think it was a detriment to New South Wales from Woodsy? Do you think they were able to use it as ammunition for this game because they clearly come out with more, I guess, gusto. Intentions, yeah. Or was that just because they...
Intensity.
Because they got hammered in game 1 and they would always do a response.
And we said this during the week, right? It's like, you lose game 1. He's never lost a game 1. He's never lost a game 1. And everybody, like, when you lose game 1, everyone needs to go up. And that's natural for Queensland. It's natural for New South Wales. You just go up. You lost game 1. It's fucking everything in. Everything in. Like, you expect that from Tino, Munster, all these gun players. That's what I said. I said, I'm not surprised if we sit here now and then and Queensland have won.
Yeah.
We're sitting here now and Queensland have won. They won pretty good. We come back, but I'm like, did those little comments make the Queenslanders go, fuck, I fucking hate New South Wales? I don't think they need that extra little bit of hate, but maybe it was because they love Billy so much.
Do you think it had applied any pressure to New South Wales in any way? Do you ever remember any times where you're like,
just shut up, mate?
Someone from the outside the inner sanctum, like Woodsy's a New South Wales player, and obviously, he's fully behind New South Wales, but it's like,
just shut up.
Yeah, if you're a player, do you look at that and just go, I know what you're trying to do and appreciate you looking after us, but just Woods, you don't need to.
Yeah, not.
You know, we're travelling. Everyone's talking us up. Everyone was telling us how good we are. We maybe didn't need that.
Yeah, and in a way, but not so close. So Woodsy just retired, right? So you never had a bloke that was just retired and then goes and bags someone, right? It was never that. Like,
was it like proper OGs? Was it?
It would be like Mark Geyer. It'd be like someone like that. Would be like,
choppy close on their side.
Yeah. They were guys that played in the 90s.
Yeah.
Not guys that played with the current crop, right? And you talk to Gordy, you talk to anyone, like who the OGs are, they do fucking not like it, right? Shane Webke, I was with Shane Webke tonight. It was... it was brutal. Yeah. It was brutal. Like, you know, like just say because he's a fucking old school dude. Yeah. And he went, what the fuck is up with that guy? I said, I don't know. I don't know him. I'm not mates with him that much. I said, you have a word to him. And he was on another level.
All right. Well, it's been a chaotic week, and I guess, people were screaming for more drama around Origin, and that didn't create it, for better or worse. But just want to let everyone know, Money, had a chat to him before the game. We ran into him at the game as well. We're going to be filming a specific clip on our social medias from Money on Friday. It's just going to be a quick 5 to 10 minute clip. So we'll just post that on our socials. So that is brought to you by Athlete, and you can find that on Friday. Yeah, we'll post that for over the weekend, a chat from the skipper. So I don't know, should we...
How outstanding was Munster, bro?
Yeah. Let's start with Money.
We knew,
the skipper,
we said it,
man
he
of the
was
match.
a skipper, and he just went, I thought, give him the captaincy so he can have that added pressure. And then, he delivered, and now he looks like a god.
He come on, so he did the segment with us with Athlete after the disappointment of game 1. I said, if there's one thing that you can control, Money, and you look back on it, because there's so many factors that go into winning and losing games, but what can you control? He goes, Nath ran the ball 15 times or whatever, and he ran for over 100 metres. Money ran for 17, 131.
Wow.
He got himself a try, pushing through a hole off Harry, and he just went after the game, mate.
Yeah.
It was a proper captain's lock. Defensively, he was in everything as well.
He just wanted the ball.
21 tackles, only 2 misses. Tommy Dearden had 25 with no misses. He was really good as well. So, let's start off with those two guys. I thought both of those two guys were really good, and arguably under the most pressure out of anyone wearing a jersey for Queensland because of the dropping of DCE.
Yeah, they were outstanding. I thought they controlled the game. Dearden wasn't if you watch the game, he wasn't outstanding, right? But he did the little things. He didn't miss tackles.
Yep.
No one could get through that edge where they'll get in favours in game 1. Liam Martin, Crichton making big metres, right?
Denton, just quick played the balls.
Yeah, they got nothing, right? In the middle, the middles took care of it. Munster took care of it. He got the ball. He attacked. When Munster's like that, man, he's the best 5'8" in the world. And I expected that from him.
It's funny too, even though you do expect it, with Ches not playing, you'd understand if he decided if he got into a bit more pass happy and kick happy, because Ches isn't there, and that's not Tommy Dearden's game. But it was the opposite. He just went after it. They were both tacking in and around A. It wasn't like they were coming up with beautiful big try assists or anything like that, but they were just relentless, and that's what you wanted to see from Tommy. Just moving on to the back three, Kalen, Xavier Coates were good, both good without being. I didn't think. What
do you think about KP?
KP was good defensively. He was all over the shop.
Yeah.
Defensively, he was popping up at A. He was getting the numbers right. His numbers weren't crazy offensively. But I love the change, and I didn't even really see this leading into the game. I mustn't have read the team sheet properly. I didn't realise Hamaso was playing on the wing until I seen him score on the drive.
100%.
I thought it was still...
I didn't know.
When you go through the lineups, we went through the 1 to 7, all the way up until I seen him score, and I was like, oh shit, Hammer's on the wing. I didn't even notice that throughout the week. So Val Holmes, that was the slight little change that he made in the outside backs, and Hammer rewarded him with a couple of tries. Jumped over Toto. That's what they were trying to get. That's what I expected with Coates, and the back three were good. Again,
without
Tommy
being
did.
Outstanding, they just did their job. They led the kick chasers. So when they were playing field position, right? Every time New South Wales kicked, we were 10 metres behind.
Yeah.
Right. Every time they kicked, it was fucking
on
contact, on contact, and they were the guys that were leading it. So that made a big difference.
The centres, I thought Val was really good defensively. There was a couple of moments throughout the game where it stood out where Liam Martin got a good shot on Tino, a couple of times actually, forced the ball over. And just when it felt like things could have got a little bit out of shape, Val comes up with a huge hit on Liam Martin and got his revenge.
Yep.
So defensively, both him and Robert Toya were really good. And Robert Toya obviously has a nice touch for Hammer for the first try as well. So...
they were good defensively.
It's a big tick for Robert Toya at the start of his NRL
because they were bad.
Origin career.
They were really bad in game 1 defensively, and they were on point. On point. We didn't look like scoring. Honestly, it didn't look like scoring. Like Latrell looked like he was just like...
Yeah, Latrell come up with a couple of nice little quick tip-ons. I thought the Critter try was nice. Like, it was just a bit of brute strength.
I know that, but like in the first half, like fucking probably 0 touches, 0... Like,
we'll get to quickly. We'll get to them.
Yeah, it was weird.
But in the second half, Critter and Latrell woke up, but you got to give credit to Robert Toy and Val Holmes.
We were fucking done by half-time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like 26-6 or some shit.
The big boys got questioned through the middle, and again, like when we're looking at these stats, it's like these stats aren't going to blow you away. Mo Fodawaker 7 for 73, Tino 9 for 58.
What?
He had a couple of errors.
9 for 58.
12 tackles, 28. I thought their bench was really good. We'll get to Kurt Mann in that.
How many minutes did he play?
60. Tino got 46. Mo only got the first stint for the first 23. But yeah, nothing. I thought the bench was good. The back rows really stood out for me.
Yeah.
Ruben Cotter and Kurt Capewell. Kurt Capewell's just proven he's a proper Origin player.
He's a gun.
He's just...
Since I said that he was like the worst centre, he can't play centre. You're welcome, Capes.
Pardon me. He was good, mate. He come up with Origin plays, whether it was kick pressure, whether it was escorting, try savers.
What about Liero?
Liero was good. Liero was good.
I didn't really notice him, but I think he made how many tackles?
He would have made a fair few tackles for sure, Liero. 41.
40? Yeah.
41.
See, you need that. You need that.
Yeah. So he made his tackles and he was busy, and they sort of went with like more of the lock rotation. Obviously, once Mo comes off, he doesn't go back on. So they're using Kurt Mann, Trent Liero, and Paddy Carrigan. Lindsay Collins had a pretty good stint actually as well. Ruben Cotter made 43, but yet he was going after people as well. Yeah. Ruben was going after
Hunting
people.
From the inside. Great.
Yeah, so he was hurting some people and he looked good, and there's some question marks around him. Before we get off the forwards, I thought probably Harry was second best, and maybe if I was going to go player of the match, Harry needed a huge game. I was heavily critical of him in the first game, and if it wasn't for Munster, maybe his heroics and then the skipper and all that, then Harry was my number two.
We expected that from Harry.
Yeah,
right?
we did.
We said legends, they don't have two bad games.
No.
Like, that was probably his worst game that he's ever played in his career.
Agreed.
Not club or anything.
Every level.
Origin, everything. Probably back to Harold Matz.
He also made 55 tackles.
55?
Yeah. So I
don't think I made 55 in 4 games.
He comes up with the try assist for money, just scheming out of dummy half. I think he sort of got out. Kalen got a quick play of the ball on the Kurt Capewell try as well, where he sort of just gets out of dummy half, quick tip, didn't overcomplicate it, tips on to Kurt Mann. Kurt Mann finds Kurt Capewell as well.
Was all right.
Yeah, Kurt was good. Kurt was good. It looked a little bit rough there to start off with, and it looked like he might have been in for a long night, and the pace might have been a little bit too much for him. And I tell you what, it was that no try when Nathan Cleary got done for the obstruction with Big Stefano getting in the way of Paddy Carrigan. Yeah. And then from that point on, they were able to, instead of getting scored against, which I think would have been the difference, they were able to go down the other end and score with the Kurt Capewell try. So that sort of helped out.
What do you think about the ref?
Thought it was poor again. I always think he's poor.
Fuck, how's he still in the game?
I thought he was poor in game one, and there was the feeling as I was watching this go on, and as everyone knows, I am neutral. I could care who wins. I am obviously, I root for Ches, I root for Money, and a couple of the other boys, but again, the 50-50s just didn't go New South Wales' way early on, and there was a part of me that was thinking, tinfoil hat.
Hey, you know that.
Tinfoil hat.
The game wanted to.
I also don't want. It's the same as with New South Wales. I didn't want to take away from New South Wales because I thought New South Wales were better than Queensland. I actually think Queensland were better than New South Wales. But some of the calls that he comes up with and the momentum swings and how he...
Third tackle on
he dictates 40. Games so much, mate. It's so frustrating.
Momentum and field position can fuck a team.
For sure it can.
And he did that to us.
The bench, Lindsay Collins was good. Loved the exchange with Spencer Lenius. They weren't able to get Spencer off a kickoff, and Lindsay ran straight at his Roosters teammate. And
love it.
Lindsay needed that. For me, the last 18 months, 12 months,
Been getting pumped.
I've been starting to question Lindsay Collins. Is he starting to drop off?
Yeah.
I reckon he needed this game. I thought he was really good off the bench.
He needs game time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's missed a lot of games with either injuries or like concussions in games and head knocks.
He doesn't care who he runs at. And bloke's just trying to line him up.
Jeremiah come on at the back end of the game when they were sort of just trying to hang on to points. So you don't really. It's similar to the way I viewed Hudson Young in game one. Like he was okay. Yeah. It's just like
just did his job.
The time that he come on. Paddy was good. Got a stint early. Got another stint a little bit later on. Got through his work as per 19 tackles, no misses, and got his 10 carries for 87. But at least he...
The stats aren't massive, are they?
No, they're not. They're not. Like, I want to go back to the team stats. Let's have a look at the team stats. So 45% possession they had. Queensland. They had... Look at that. That's the lowest I've seen in a long time.
1250.
1,250 metres for a win. Normally, the average... So, if you get to 1,800 metres, that means that you've had... you normally win a game in NRL.
60% of the ball.
Only 1,400 for New South Wales as well. So it was sort of that stop-start, drag them into the mud sort of game. And obviously that's worked out well for Queensland. 66% completion, 69 to New South Wales.
29 minutes of the ball.
Pardon me. Sorry, guys. But yeah, let's get back over to... Did we cover everyone? I'm sure we covered everyone. Yep, Paddy, Kurtman, everyone, Trent Liero. Let's get over to the Blues. Brian Tyler was excellent. Not only the 3 tries, the most metres in the game, 25 carries for 232. Him and Zach, no matter what, they're just gonna, they're gonna do this every game, aren't they? They're gonna go after it. They're gonna fill the sheet with stats and in a losing team and in the condition, I thought the conditions suited the wingers as well. Yeah. Like I know, they're
just hard motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
They don't care about contact. They just go at it. Dylan Edwards doesn't care.
Dylan Edwards was okay.
He was okay, but he doesn't have the power of like Toto or Lomax, right? He doesn't have that bump. He doesn't have that footwork, but he just keeps working and keeps working. I'm just very disappointed in just our not back five, but like the
Critter and Latrell.
You need Critter and Latrell.
They were quiet.
The most talented players. Why didn't they get the ball more?
So here's my argument. This is what I've been fucking saying forever, right? And this is why, going back to my Tommy Trbojevic argument.
Do it.
When a game goes in a cycle like this,
centers get left out.
Centers get left out of the modern game.
Yeah.
It's the way we viewed what happened to Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow and Robert Toya was okay to start off with in that game.
Yeah.
But once the game goes away from the field possession, or you don't get a 50-50 split and you start
get the ball.
It's the wingers and the fullbacks that get the ball. Yeah. And they do the yardage stuff and you're just defending. That's why I always say I think there's more value in having top tier wingers.
Yeah,
now if you give me an even run of play, if you have the quality of Stephen Crichton on Latrell Mitchell, they could be the difference. But it needs to be a 50-50. And when you don't have a 50-50, you see what happened to Critter and Latrell.
I just want them to get early ball, right?
Yeah.
To get your strike centres, like to get into the game, right? You cannot not give Crichton the ball and Latrell early ball.
Let
him cook.
Latrell
let him cook. You know what I mean? Like just give early ball. Like when we used to play, give it to Tong. Give it a Gaz.
Yeah.
Give it a Brent Tate. Just fucking let them have that one-on-one sort of shake. Whatever. Like who cares? They'll get tackled or they'll make just give them that confidence because centers need that.
We had 9 touches, Latrell, and he got two try assists, and that's because
he's quality.
He can make those silky quick passes when not everyone can do that. So I thought there was a couple of opportunities right at the end where conditions obviously didn't help. A new combination with Jerome, but Jerome's played with Latrell before, so that's really not a huge excuse.
No.
Jerome looked a little bit flustered in this, and it started all the way from right in the first minute when he kicked it out in the full. Yeah. He had a couple of nice try assists himself off the boot, or one that was sort of like a bit of a grubber. He got the Angus Crichton one, but Romy didn't have his best game.
No.
Romy didn't have his best.
That's putting it nicely.
Yeah. I think you're trying not to be too critical with your silence. Let's move on to Nath.
Loved it.
Nath was okay. He went after the game a little bit more. Still got his 12 carries. There's just the connection between Yowie, Nathan, Jerome, and Dylan Edwards. Because we've got so much high expectations of them, it just didn't look clean. Didn't look clean.
Didn't work. And even Liam Martin.
Have you ever been like that? Played with so I know obviously Jerome's only just moved on, but do you lose it that quickly after being together for 4 or 5 years?
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. It didn't look. It looked like they'd never played together. I thought Cleary tried to take the game. He scored that try. He was running. He was trying to take it, and I don't think they followed him. You know what I mean? That's me looking at the game. I'm going, fuck, Cleary's having a crack. Go with him. He's got that ability to win the game for you.
He had 6 missed tackles.
We nearly won the fucking game.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
And they played awful.
Look at it. We played disgusting, and we still nearly won the game. Yeah, fuck. 6
missed tackles for Nath, 5 for Jerome, and I felt like those weren't. It was different. Those were different missed tackles from Queensland in the first game, where they were sending the back rowers at the halves. Felt like those were missed tackles from little half missed tackles from Tommy Dearden, Money, Kalen,
just stepping through,
show and go, maybe just setting their feet a little bit more. A bit of a mixed bag from both Jerome and Nath as well. Max King got promoted in the front.
What was his stats?
26 minutes.
26 minutes?
He got 26. Payne played 61. Reece Robson was pretty good, actually, at the start, I thought. Maxi went off pretty early. I think he might have got a stint a little bit later on, 6 for 47. And again, it's that cycle.
Did he have one stint?
I'm pretty sure he come on for a stint right at the death as well. 16 tackles, so he definitely knows what it feels like to be on the back end of an origin, like you said.
That's the difference, right?
Payne was good, 35 tackles, still no misses.
They took care of him, but...
They did take care of him, 16 carries for 143, but you're right, it did feel like
it didn't look like he made a dent in him.
Yeah.
Fuck. Max King, 26 minutes, why?
Reece Robson was good, I thought, through the middle, and then he got a bit of a early mark. It's sort of the start of the second half. Connor was a little bit off. We'll get to him in a little bit as well. Missed a couple of passes, was trying to force the short side. But Reece Robson's a proper goer. Liam Martin went after it. He was a dog as per. Angus Crichton's a dog as per. I thought they did their job as their back rows as expected. And Joey 14 carries for 105. 32 tackles, no misses. He was solid without,
How many minutes?
He played 55. They had Hudson on through the middle, so they brought Hudson on for... They must have brought him on for Yowie originally, and they sort of played Hudson Young through that middle role. I didn't like it.
No. It looked out of... we looked like we just...
47 minutes he played.
That. I don't like that. You play Yowie minimum 70.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. You only get him for a little spell. And
Max King, starter, give him at least 50.
So he's got similar times and stats to basically Mo on the other side, but Mo gets the win.
Yeah.
So Mo go for 23 minutes, and he got 7 for 73. It was a weird game.
Fucking very weird.
It was a weird game.
I didn't realise they played that many.
It was so stop-start. We're looking at the errors, right? We brought it up before. Let's finish off New South Wales before we move off. Bench didn't really offer much. I think Spencer was obviously fired up. He didn't get a kick-off. He went looking for a few hits. Stefano, I thought, was pretty good. Had a pretty good stint. The big boy, threw his body around, and he'll be better for the run. I don't know what they do with the makeup of that bench, if that's the bench for Game 3 or if there are any changes. But your initial thoughts, do you think there will be any changes or do we roll with Game 3?
I think Keon comes in.
You think Keon?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think Keon would have been good in this
He
game.
can play both edges. He can play in the middle. I've always said this. Hits hard. He's got a presence there, and I don't know. There'll be a few changes.
Yeah,
probably about 3, I reckon.
You reckon 3?
Yeah.
So do you reckon Drome's good?
Forwards, yeah. No, not really.
Yeah. Your man Matty Burton?
Yeah, maybe.
I think there's no way. That'll be too big of a call.
Full camp.
Fucking hell.
Hey?
I'll get a full camp together.
A full camp together, that's a good point. So he come in on Friday, right? So he had 5 days compared to the 10.
So he had one proper session.
They would have had. Yeah, they would have had one. Yeah, they would have had one full day. So yeah,
There's no excuse. He doesn't need any.
Yeah, he's good enough. That shouldn't be an excuse for him.
No,
he's been around long enough. Like it's the same way I view Harry playing poorly. That's the way I view Jerome in this, where I don't think I've seen Jerome play that bad again, and I don't expect him to play that bad again. So that's why I don't expect him to drop him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. I don't think they should drop him.
Yeah.
I hope the selectors go, all right, we'll stick and,
I think they will.
Pick and stick.
I think you're right. I think there might be a change on the bench, whether it's
maybe the starting pack in the front row and a couple of benchies.
So no Mitch Barnett 100%. We could see Keon in some way. Yeah, I think that could be a change. Looking at going back to the team stats quickly, mate, and then we'll let you go. So 14 incompletes, 66% for Queensland, 69 for New South Wales. It was a low quality error rate sort of.
Yeah.
And not on play 1 straight away or not on the last tackle. It was on play 2 or 3. It's like you'd get in a bit of rhythm and then there'd be an error. So that's the breakdown. We'll do it in depth.
Out of 10, what would you rate that Origin?
Oh, as a combination in game 1 and 2 put together, 5 or 6.
Yes, it wasn't. Yeah.
So my last question, and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Game 3 is going to be a doozy then.
Oh,
we get a decider.
The game needs a decider.
Well, the Ashley Klein wanted a decider. The NRL wanted a decider.
Fuck Ashley Klein out of there. Bring Bill Harrigan back.
All right. That's it, guys, for the Origin review. Like I said, it's very raw. We're doing it straight after. I'll be watching it again straight after the game. I'll finish off with the games over the weekend. You go do your thing, and I'll come see you in a bit. All right, TJM's end of financial year sale is here, and in order to celebrate, we are going to be doing something different. We want our audience, we want our YouTube listeners to get involved. So if you are watching that, make sure you jump in the comments section for a chance to win a prize, a giveaway, TJM Ultimate Camping giveaway, valued up to $3,000. That includes the TJM Walsher rooftop tent, the TJM 2.5 awning plus awning room, TJM fire pit and grill, 2 times TJM Director's camping chair plus TJM camping table, and lastly, but not least, the TJM bush saw. So this is how you get the opportunity to win. Go and comment on the YouTube section. We want to know which 3 former or current NRL players you'd want around your campfire and why. We're going to run this for maybe 2 or 3 weeks and we'll come up with a winner. So let us know 2 to 3 NRL players and who you'd want around and why. All right.
In the comments? In
the comments, in the YouTube comments section, Lukey. All right, you good? All right, let's get to the team list for round 16, and there will be so many changes too, depending on what happens with the Origin players. But West Tigers kick it off against the Raiders Friday, 8 p.m. at Campbelltown Stadium. Pardon me. Prop Fanua returns after 3 games out with a knee injury. So Sione Fainu reverts to the bench. Lock Alex 12, concussion. He's also back on deck. Talon De Silva has been added to the bench. Charlie Murray and Kit Laulili dropped to the reserves. As for the Raiders, winger Jed Stewart will make his NRL debut. That is the son of Ricky Stewart in place of Savelio Tamale. After being 18th man in 4 games this season, the rookie will make his debut, 23-year-old too. So I love that story for Jed Stewart, and Sticky gets to celebrate a debut for his son. No changes in the forward pack, so Hudson Young is expected to back up. It's that weird time
It's a Friday.
the 2-day return. So we'll see if him and both Jerome Luai back up from Origin. Lukey, what are the odds for this game?
Odds, Tigers are $3.40 with Tab.
Yep.
Canberra's $1.32. The line is 9.5.
I do think it's a tricky game. I think 9.5 might be too much. Campbelltown Stadium feels a little bit yuck. This feels like a bit of a danger game for the Raiders.
Canberra conditions.
Pardon?
Canberra conditions.
Canberra conditions, Campbelltown? Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to go Canberra. I'm sticking. This is my same game multi as well. So I'm on Canberra. I think they're really good at the moment. Ethan Strange scored a couple on Big Papa's game a couple of weeks ago. I think he can get over for one. And I've got KO Weeks at the back. I think he's the one who's been a little bit quiet of late too. So let's see if he can get it going, especially with Savelio Tamale missing in this game. I'm looking for him to sort of up the ante. He's had slow start to the season, then he had a really good month, and then he's had a couple of quiet weeks. So let's see if KO Weeks can up the ante. Ethan Strange anytime with KO and Canberra to win. Moving on to Saturday, 3 p.m. at Go Medio, over there for the Warriors versus the Panthers. This is the Wars against the Pars. So centre Mwala Graham Taffa will play for his first game since round 22 last year, coming in for Kirk Capewell, who will be rested after his heroics in Game 2. Wade Egan returns from a hip injury. So Sam Healy moves to 18th man. Centres Rocco Berry and Ali Lautea remained sidelined. As for the Panthers, Ivan chose to rest all of his Origin players. So no Dylan Edwards, no Nathan Cleary, no Isaiah Yeo, no Brian Toto, no Liam Martin. Lindsay Smith will play. He was a part of the wider squad. So Dane Laurie lines up at fullback. Alan Motti comes in on the wing. Schneider at halfback. Isaiah Papali'i starts in the back row. Matt Eisenhuth at lock. Prop Liam Henry returns from suspension on the bench. Alongside Trent Talal, Luron Patea and Luke Garner. What are the odds for this game? Because I really like the Wars in this game, obviously.
Yeah, Tabba got them quite short. $1.24, $4.10 with all the Panthers stars rested for Penrith.
Okay.
Minus 12.5 Warriors start.
Yeah, I think the Warriors will be too good in this one.
Can you see a Penrith versus... remember when everyone was rested from Penrith earlier in the season?
And
I've brought this up a couple of times.
And Knights smoked them?
No, they played Storm. Penrith Storm, and it was all the rookies.
Oh, no, that was a little bit more
a couple
deceiving.
others,
There was only
didn't they?
I think so. Dylan Edwards was missing in that game, and then Nathan Cleary got injured in the first 15 minutes, and then that's when they were really brave and sort of kicked on. Blaze Talangi come off the bench, but they actually had a better team than you. Like Mitch Kenny was playing, Isaiah Yeo was playing, Liam Martin was playing. I think even Toto might have injured his hamstring in that game as well, potentially. But yeah, no, I can see this similar to the Knights touching up the Panthers.
Does that mean do Penrith get the bye? So are they going to have an extended break with Cleary?
No, so Penrith got the bye pre-Origin on all 3 Origins. So rounds 12, 15 and 18. So therefore their players, the team didn't have to play while they were actually in a 10-day camp, but this is where they're affected the most. Remember when I told you this was going to be the period where they struggle, because it's not about them not missing games before Origin, it's how they're forcing them to back up and making them, or the scheduling from going all the way to Perth.
Can I tell you why they're rested as well?
What's that?
Panthers versus Bulldogs, Thursday night football.
Ooh, yeah, and the quick turnaround. So there you go for the week after. Yeah, I'm on the Wars on this game. All right, let's move to the Dolphins, the informed team of the competition at the moment, versus the Knights, Saturday 3:30, and this is over here in Perth. This is going to be at HBF Park. So Hamaso Tabuai-Fido is named to back up from Origin 2. So Jake Avarillo reverts back to the centres in place of Max Viangai. With Felice Kafusi out suspended, Mark Nichols will start the game. Harrison Graham is added to the bench. And young gun Isaiah Katoa will captain the side for the first time. As for the Knights, Dom Young is back at the club where he scored 43 tries in 51 games. They'll also get a huge boost with Bradman Best back in the team. Callum Ponga has been named to back up. Fletcher Sharp, who missed the last game, will go back to 5'8", having recovered from a calf injury. Tyson Frizzell was also back from concussion. So they're getting some troops back, the Knights. And they've also got Jack Hetherington. He is listed amongst the reserves as he is looking to return from a shoulder injury. So Young's return sees James Schiller move to 18th man. Fletcher Hunt, Kyle McCarthy and Jackson Hastings also dropped to the reserve. What are the odds?
$1.26 Dolphins, $3.90 Newcastle. The line is 12.5. Can I ask you one? With Young coming back, I saw something during the week. It reminded me he actually went to the Roosters for less.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any sentiment there, or just welcome back, open arms? Or
No, welcome back. Welcome back. He went so well there.
no ill will at all in the locker room?
Not in the locker room, no, never. Like when someone goes to another team for a contract, you never hold that against them. Even though you might be disappointed, but he'll come back in as long as he performs. That's what everyone cares about. So I've got him. I've got him in my multi. I like the plus 12.5 with Newcastle with all the players they've got back in the team. So give me Newcastle plus 12.5. That man Dom Young, he'll be marking up on Jack Bostock. You know I like this multi when I have the wingers marking up on each other who can score tries. Jack Bostock has been on fire, so give me him any time into Dom Young and Newcastle plus 12.5. The last game on Saturday is the Rabbitohs versus Storm, and that is 7:35 p.m. at Accor Stadium. Boots for the Bunnies with Latrell named to back up. Cody Walker and Campbell Graham listed amongst the reserves as they look to return. Keelan Koloamatangi is listed amongst the reserves, but seems unlikely to play after he suffered a suspected facial fracture against the Bulldogs. Davey Mawale moves into the starting side. Sean Kepi joins the bench. Jaded Sullivan sideline. So Lewis Dodd comes in at halfback. So heaps of changes for Souths all year and heaps of injuries. The club's origin contingent of Munster, Grant, Liero, Coates and Stefano have all been named to play. The only change that beat the Cowboys is Bronson Garlick joining the bench for Ativalu Lasati. Back row Alec McDonald is listed amongst the reserves. What's the odds for this game?
Brisbane $1.50, Cronulla $2.60, and the line is 4.5.
$1.50 for the Storm. That's a good price.
Sorry, apologies. I've read the Brisbane Cronulla game there.
Okay.
It's 4.10 South.
Okay.
$1.24 to the Storm. And the line, a lot of 12.5 lines this week.
Yeah, 12.5, couple of tries. You know, the way I guess the games have been going where you get off to a bit of a lead and then you pull it back. I can see that being a part of the decision there. And just injuries and the uncertainty of with some of these star teams, if all their players are going to back up too. So you've got to worry about that.
Yeah. With all the dramas this week as well, South had to head out to Acor.
Yes. Yeah, now they're going to...
Nice little reminder.
Yeah, that's a good shout. So I'm going to go the Storm in that. I would have liked the $1.50 price. Probably not going to touch it at the $1.
Does money play?
I think money plays. We'll ask him on Friday.
We will do.
Yep. All right, the Broncos versus Sharks, Sunday 2 p.m. at Suncorp Stadium. Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas have been named to back up. That'll be 4 days after going head-to-head. Also, Jack Kajeski returns an extended bench. He'll take over from Ben Takura. Ben Hunt remains sidelined. Selwyn Cobbo has been listed amongst the reserves. And new recruit Ben Tolte comes into the extended squad after signing a training trial deal. As for the Sharks, Sifa Talakai moves to the centres to replace Hiroti, and Daniel Atkinson joins the bench in the only side that beat the Dragons. So $1.50 the Broncos?
Yeah, $1.50 Broncos, $2.60 Cronulla.
Okay.
The line is shorter this time, 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. Yeah, this is more of a coin flip for me. I wouldn't be surprised if the Sharks go up there and surprise them. Even after that huge win that they had for Ren's 300th, they're nowhere near the consistent. These two teams, you can't. You almost want to be on them every time they're an underdog.
It does show how the bookies have shifted, though. Like a month ago, you wouldn't have had Cronulla at the outsiders.
No, for sure. Like one big win for the Broncos. They're starting to get some troops back. So Reece Walsh is obviously...
It is. Like a little shout out to the quality of the comp this year.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm on the Broncos with no confidence in that game. Won't be part of my multi. The Roosters versus Cowboys, Sunday 4 p.m. at Accor Stadium. So... for them, Rob Toya, Lindsay Collins and Connor Watson, Angus Crichton and Spencer Leniu have been named to play if they are unscathed. Toya's return sees Mark Nwanga-Nitawase push out to the wing. Obviously with Dom Young moving on, that's a straight swap there. The shuffle up in the pack sees Siwa Wong, Nafahu White and Celeste Fiketti retain their spots. Makatoa Lasalu dropped to the reserves. Victor Radley and Egan Butcher are both in concussion protocols. As for the Cowboys, Viliami Valea sees Braden Burns pushed to the reserves. John Bateman is also back on deck. The Origin stars, Dearden, Robson, Nanai, Cotter have all been named to back up after Origin, and Jason Tomalolo is out after the recurrence of the calf injury that he did in warm-up last week. Harrison Edwards and the system of the McIntyre variety, of the Sam variety, go to the bench after starting last week. So Lars and Duffy dropped to the reserves.
$1.47 Roosters. Tab have North Queensland at $2.70. The line is 7.5.
7.5 is too much. 7.5 is too much. I like the Cowboys for a bounce back with all their stars. Geez, the Roosters have been good lately. They're just finding ways to win as well.
We missed it. We didn't really mention on Monday's show because we were a bit haphazard. But poor Sam Walker.
Yeah, Sam Walker getting breaking his thumb or whatever it was before the game last
Blessing
week.
in disguise for the knee.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, I've seen people bring that up as well. Like, get an extra couple of weeks. It can't hurt. It obviously can't hurt the knee. But it's frustrating when you work so hard to get it strong and then you do something else and you've got to go back into doing rehab. So that'll be a pain in the ass for him for sure. All right, the last game, Eels versus Titans, and I've got a multi for this. Two huge outs. Mitch Moses hurt his calf in Origin. Dylan Brown suspended. By the way, I need to look into this and we'll confirm it for next week. But if I'm hearing Dylan Brown is suspended for running into the referee. Have you seen it?
I believe that's what it is, yeah.
That is such a bad... I can't believe this didn't get more noise. It's because it was during Origin. I seen that happen live too, where I think it was Jared Sutton potentially.
Yeah, well, the article with ABC I'm reading, NRL accused of making up charges after Parramatta Eels player Dylan Brown charged.
Yeah, that was so bad. Dylan Brown was just on kick chase,
That's what
and the
Murray
referee
said.
ran in his way and backed off into his way, and he sort of just pushed him out of the way.
Pleaded guilty to the Grade 2 contrary contact charge he incurred for bumping into referee Jared Sutton.
There you go. That's fucking such
We
a
need
bad
him
one.
this week with his
Big
lunch.
time. So you've got Joash Papali playing 6, Dean Hawkins at 7. Zach Lomax will return from Origin. Widamu Greg has been added to the bench. But for the Titans, they get back Tino Fasua-Malawi and Mo Fodawaker. And star forward David Fafita has been named at 18th man, so he may return. Centre Jojo Fafita returns from a hand injury, so
Before I get
Kelly
to
makes way.
before I get to the odds, do you recall Jerome Hughes' one?
Jerome Hughes' one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that comparable?
Similar.
Yeah, he got one game too, so I
Yeah.
think they're holding a standard there. I
Yeah, but
guess.
it's silly. Like
It is.
It's half the ref's fault as well. Like in a game of contact and peripheral vision and fatigue. Like I thought, that if it's the kick chase that I think it's he's been really hard done by.
Is that new rule with the Vlandis can overrule the match review committee? Do you think this is an instance where that could have stepped in?
No, I need
if
to
was
see
in
it again.
place?
I wasn't 100% until I only read it maybe on the way up here or whatever, and I seen the lineups that Dylan wasn't a part of the team, or maybe I seen it on the Para Instagram. So, yeah.
Well, Parramatta Eels $2.15 at home. Fozzie's Titans are $1.70. The line is 2.5.
I really like the Titans in this game. When you're missing Mitch Moses and Dylan Brown, they were struggling without Mitch at the start of the year. They'll struggle badly without both of them. I think Gold Coast are one of the better bets of the weekend, $1.75. I know they've been inconsistent. They're coming last at the moment, but I can see them winning well. AJ Brimson and Jaden Campbell scoring anytime. You can get that for $10 with the tab. So Gold Coast head-to-head, AJ Brimson and Jaden Campbell to score anytime.
Before we wrap it up, got any eyes on anyone coming through the under-19s Origin tomorrow?
No, I
Have you
don't.
seen the team list?
No, I don't. Let's have a look.
We don't need to go through that.
No, I want to have a look and see the lineups.
I'm excited to see is it Mitch Woods?
Mitch Woods, I know he's playing, but I haven't had a look at all, so I am intrigued to see what the lineups look like. So for the first name that stands out is Luke Lilly. He's been playing for the Tigers a fair bit the last year.
This was a fun game last year at Leichhardt.
Toby Rodwell is the young gun at the Roosters that everyone's been talking about.
He's
Kobe
one that-
Black's up at the Broncos.
I remember Piercy talking about him 18 months ago
Yeah.
with us.
Mitch Woods is obviously he's the captain. Cody Hopwood is that gun front rower from Newcastle everyone keeps telling us about. Who else we got? Jacob Halangahu, I think he's from the Dragons. There's big raps on him. All these kids would have huge raps. Oh, there's Zane Harrison. He's that young kid we're speaking to Foz about. He's in the 14 jersey coming off the bench.
Oh, the one that the goal kicking challenge?
Yep, that's him, mate. So there we go. A few names to look out for in the game that I'll be watching this tomorrow. So
this is a really good game last year.
Sunshine Coast. Yeah, it was. It was a low scoring sort of tough game, and the McLean brothers were in.
They're a little
Chevy Stewart.
Not a knuckle, but a little bit of a thing on the sideline last year. Was
they get into it, the young fellas.
Yeah.
There's always, I feel like there's always a knuckle in the young.
Well, it's the first bit of TV time. Obviously, they got New South Wales Cup and all that, but this is the first, they know.
And they're all sitting in camp together watching the game from tonight as well. They're all,
so the Blues boys feel like they need to rip it a little bit more. Queensland boys need to keep the standard.
For sure. All right. Thanks for that, guys. That was a shortened version or a quick version of what we normally do for a preview and a review of our State of Origin, but we'll break it down in more depth over the weekend. See you on Monday.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.